What is a law? A law is a system of rules that particular countries or communities recognize as regulating the actions of its members, and may be enforced by the imposition of the penalties. In other words, a law is a rule that is agreed upon by a group of people for efficiency and standardization. So, when we think of a law, we usually think about running a red light on the road while driving, or rolling through the stop sign. The result, both of these are a type of penalty that will be enforced by the law. But this law is a different type of law. This law is something we use in our day-to-day business activities. It is called Gall's Law. But first, where did we get this law? And who thought of it first? His name was John Gall. He wrote a book called Systemantics, How Systems Really Work and How They Fail. Systemantics is a commentary on systems theory and general semantics journal by people like Ludwig von Bertalanffy. So, what is Gall's Law? Well, it's a rule of thumb law that states a complex system that works is invariably found to have evolved from a simple system that worked. The inverse proposition also appears to be true. A complex system designed from scratch never works and cannot be made to work. You have to start over, beginning with a working simple system. But what does this law tell us? How does it help us? Now, let's imagine that we are working in a company. This company is planning on creating a system. How should they start off? Well, they need tools and systems for their company. They must start off with a simple base system where they have the foundation of the organization. Now, not only does it have to be a simple system, but it also has to be a working system, where, based on that, we can build on and create a more complex environment. Which means that we need a simple system before having a complex one. But why is this important? You cannot build a complex system without a simple working system first. If the feature doesn't work in the simple system, we cannot continue to the complex system. It will fail because the system has to be solid before adding features. How can we use this to make the system more simple than complex? Well, we can use extreme programming. Extreme programming is simple and occurs in short development cycles, meaning when working on a program, you repeatedly test the program before adding more features in case something is flawed. This will save a lot of time when you find the flaw the moment you make it, rather than going throughout the whole program to find the mistake made. A simple system may or may not work, but the best way to find out is to keep it simple and make sure that everything is working before making it more complex. You have to make the mistakes in the basic system, not the complex one. So, if we look at the diagram, it is very busy. If we look at the head arc, there are three main components that must be manageable and correctly developed before breaking it down into smaller sections. And from there, we try to make it error-free before moving on into the smaller sections of those. So, in order to summarize what we have talked about, making a working simple system before adding features makes it easier to continue into developing it into a more complex system.